Just like how you wouldn't go swimming in a couture gown, why would you want to put a crossbody strap on your Birkin? To me, it just makes no sense. Hey guys, my name is G.P.S. and welcome back. Today we'll be doing a good old-fashioned What's New from Hermes video, which is one of the very first series I started on my channel. So if you want to catch up on everything new from Hermes, I have created a playlist for you, which will be linked down below. But today we'll be talking about not just any new Hermes launches, but 3 new styles of Birkins and a couple of new styles of Kellys that should be launching for spring-summer 2021. And if it came to any other brand, it would be quite late to talk about spring-summer launches, considering that we are closer to summer than we are to spring. But when it comes to Hermes, what can I tell you? It's just the name of the game. It would be more surprising if they were on time for once than if they are not. But hopefully these are pieces that we'll be seeing in stores in the foreseeable future. So if you want to chat about some new Birkins and Kellys, then please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and keep on watching. Okay, let's start with a new style of Birkin, which I have a feeling might be the first one to drop out of the bunch that we'll be talking about. And it is the so-called Fray Fray Birkin in size 35, which is a new style of Birkin made of a canvas material called H12. And there's really nothing revolutionary about canvas Birkins. Hermes has been using different types of canvas to construct Birkin bags for decades at this point. But this one is quite special for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's because they use something called the H12, which is a type of canvas that is not often used by Hermes. This should not be confused with officier canvas or even the Viking canvas, which are materials that are very often used to construct the body of the her bag. H12 is not as commonly used, and then obviously the name comes from the fact that the edges of the Birkin are frayed out. They are left almost undone, which gives this bag almost a poncho kind of look, which in my opinion is just adorable. I think this bag would make an incredible statement piece for the summer. And because it's made of canvas, it's going to be extremely lightweight. I think this is one of those pieces that if you're looking for something truly special and novelty, you want to look into. And when it comes to sizes, I've seen 35 being confirmed. So the pictures that we've been looking at is of the Birkin in size 35. I would be surprised if this bag wasn't available in a size 30 because of the frayed edges. This is going to look slightly larger than it already is. So I think it would be a shame for them not to bring this out in a size 30, but 35 for sure is happening. And speaking of bags not made of leather, the Fray Fray Birkin is not actually the only bag in canvas that is being introduced for the new season. There are a couple of new Kellys that are coming out for spring-summer 21. The Kelly Depeche is one of those bags that is being reimagined for the season in a canvas similar to the Fray Fray Birkin, with an incredible leather trim. And in a really similar setup, you'll also have a Kelly 28 in Sellier structure, which is quite similar to the canvas Kellys that we've seen in the past. And on top of all of that, Hermes is also launching a brand new type of canvas for the season called the Quadrille canvas, which is such a unique material for Hermes to use on bags. When I first saw this, I was immediately reminded of the Kelly wood, which launched as an exquisite piece just a couple of seasons ago. There is something quite tactile about this new material that you just want to touch and feel and know what it's all about. It looks more to me like something that you would use on a piece of furniture rather than a bag, which is exactly what makes it so interesting. And in case this pattern caught your eye, you will be able to pick it up in a Kelly 28 in the Sellier structure, which is of course the most iconic style and shape of Kelly bags, with, in this pattern, just the right amount of twist. And since we've been talking so much about canvas bags, let's touch on the pricing of canvas pieces by Hermes, or at least my experience with them, because you would most likely assume that because a piece is made of canvas, it is going to be less expensive than its leather counterpart would be. But of course we're talking about Hermes, and they are not. Canvas Birkins and Kellys tend to be just as expensive as bags made of leather, if not even more expensive. Don't ask me why, that's just how they work. So just because a piece is made of canvas, don't think that it's not necessarily going to be any less expensive. But they do add a different facet to your collection, so if any one of these pieces caught your eye, be sure to put them on your wish list. This next piece, I'm not quite as enthusiastic about as I was about the Quadrille Kelly. And that's purely because people have been trying to make the Birkin work as a crossbody bag and use different tips and tricks and accessories that you can buy online to add a shoulder strap onto their Birkin bags, which in my opinion, let's just be honest, none of them work. They might technically work, but the idea is just flawed from the beginning. The Birkin was not created with a shoulder strap in mind, and it just doesn't look great. There is a reason why you cannot buy a shoulder strap from Hermes usually and just clip it onto your Birkin. I just really don't think that those two things meet and work. Just like how you wouldn't go swimming in a couture gown, why would you want to put a crossbody strap on your Birkin? To me, it just makes no sense. But people are trying, and Hermes is also competing with all the accessories out there that you can buy to add to your Birkin bags out there. They have launched a harness with a matching Birkin in size 30 in Bavaria Faubourg, which is interesting to say the least. It's basically this leather harness or almost basket, we could call it, that you can fit a Birkin 30 into. Now what I'm not sure about is if you will have to buy the harness together with a new Birkin 30 or if this will be an accessory that you can pick up on its own. Based on the pictures I've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if this came as a set with the Bavaria Faubourg Birkin 30, because I've only ever seen that bag fitted into this harness or another Birkin 30 that was made of canvas. I'm telling you, Hermes is all about canvas for the new season that has a Bavaria top, flap, and handles. And I think it wouldn't be the worst idea for this harness to come with an actual bag, because I really don't think that it would work on anything else. I mean, it barely works with these bags. I really don't think it would work with just a regular Birkin that you have at home. I get the idea that this was inspired by Hermes' equestrian heritage. If you're really familiar with your equestrian gear, you can see the resemblance to the bridle, which is something that equestrians use over the head of the horse. You can see the large rings and the way these straps work, that was the inspiration. But to me, at first glance, this looked more like something that was inspired by 50 Shades of Grey. So if you're into your bondage aesthetic, this will be right up your alley, and it should be launching in the foreseeable future. But for me, the aesthetic, the execution, nor the idea work. So for me, this is going to be a major pass. And the third and last new style of Birkin is the one that I have to admit I'm most excited for, because this is a reinterpretation of an older style that Hermes introduced in 2011. And they do this all the time. We have talked about this before, that Hermes introduces something that is supposed to be hard to get and limited edition. And next thing you know, in a few years, they're back with 5 new versions that are new and improved. But in this case, dare I say that they did a better job on the new version than they did on the original style, which is the Birkin 25 in the picnic variation. I'm sure that at this point you don't need to be introduced to the original Kelly picnic, which launched around 2011. And at the time when it first launched, I don't think it was quite as popular as it became later on. And the hype got so crazy that Hermes ended up bringing it back in a mini size a couple of years ago. But if anything, I feel that this new Birkin 25 in the picnic edition is so much more genuine and truer to the original idea than the mini Kellys were. Just because of the way that it's constructed, the choice of leather they stuck with using Bavaria as they did on the original version, whereas they changed it up to Swift on the mini bags, which I completely understand why, but I think it just works better on the Birkin picnic. And if you think about using a bag and the idea and the concept of going on a picnic, I think it's more likely that you would take a Birkin than you would take a Kelly because it's an open style tote at the end of the day. And I know most people buying these bags are not actually using them to go on a picnic, but if I just think about the whole storyline that goes along with these bags, I think the Birkin bag is just a much better choice. I love the idea. For some reason, it just works for me. The size, the construction, the choice of leather, it just all makes sense, and I'm a huge fan of this bag. I would love for you to let me know in the comment section which piece you're most excited for, and if there are any that are going to make it onto your wish list, I would love to know. And if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!